Thank you for picking up the sticks. This is episode 119, Sticks Gaming Podcast. Is that right? Did I just mess that up? I literally
feel like
just looked at it.
119? No, that sounds right.
Ha! No, I'm right. 119. Thank you for picking up the sticks. This is episode 119, Sticks Gaming Podcast.
Off to a roaring start.
You know, it's 119. The Sticks Gaming Podcast. And I'm Mike Carnett. To my right, Mike Steak Carnia.
What's going on?
To my left, Art, the 55th President of the United States, Rosian. You got about 40-ish years to figure that out, just so I can be right.
I got to go on a diet or a workout plan or something to make it that long.
And start scrubbing the internet right now for this, for one. And God knows what else.
Listen, I've done nothing here or anywhere else that is even remotely close to some politicians we've had in this country, so I'm good.
So this is working, right? So 55th president. You have about 40-ish years.
Sure.
Depending on how terms go and things like that.
I have 40-ish years to get some kind of manifesto together.
Yeah. Dude, it could be, what, 80-ish?
40 years? I'll be pushing 80, yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
There we go. That's what we do.
That's president age now.
That's what we do.
80 is the new, 40.
Yeah.
40 years, probably, or something.
That's right.
I don't know. Anyway, all right. So on this episode, we're going to be going over our most anticipated games of the year. Also, Art's wife bought a Switch for herself over Christmas to play one game. And we figured that's not quite right.
Two games. She's playing 2 games.
Oh, what's the second game? What's she playing?
Animal Crossing.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
2 games. And we figured that's, we wanted to help them justify that purchase.
Help her justify
that purchase of a new game console. So we got some games that what is, I mean, I don't know if you want to share this or not, but what her official title is?
What do you mean?
What she does for a living?
No, let's not put that out there.
Okay, let's not put that out there. What Art's wife should like to play. I will also got to remember that while we're talking about these games.
Yeah.
I mean, as a blank, I think she will.
Yeah, I was like, saying her first name's fine. Saying her profession, let's not go that far.
Fair enough. Stick what you're playing. Get me out of this.
All right. You don't hear this 40 years from now.
Let's move on. So
I'm going to need a lot of one-term presidents. Shit.
Yeah.
That usually doesn't happen.
I'll give you the minimum time. The minimum time.
Yeah. So have not really been playing a whole lot these last couple of weeks. Chucking away more at Yakuza Like a Dragon. 3-4 more hours more. I'm in chapter 10. But I've been doing a ton of shit in there. So it seems like I'm not progressing, but I'm doing a lot in that time.
That's the only game I played, so I might as well talk about it now.
Nice.
I might as well break reins.
Excellent.
I'm skipping Art.
It's fine.
For now.
I actually have a list of games to talk about.
Oh my God! No, perfect. Then you're perfect to end on this.
Of course.
So, I'm in chapter 7 now.
Oh, nice.
I was in chapter 5 for a long time. Chapter 6 was basically just a dungeon, which was very.
That was awesome.
Which was cool.
Super quick. Yeah.
And then now I'm in the middle of chapter 7. I also played a lot of it. It was like one of those serendipitous, I got this new gift card and this thing's on sale, so I'm going to buy it. I bought kind of a mid-range Samsung tablet.
Oh, nice.
And xCloud works great on it, but also, the console streaming from Xbox to the tablet is almost immaculate.
Nice.
Honestly, I'm feeling no difference.
It should be
Cool.
if you're on the same network as your system.
I know. That's not always true, though.
I'll say that's not always the case.
Trust me, I know. I had a Vita.
Yeah. So, and that's the only I was like, maybe I'll try I said that works great.
Yeah.
It works way better than for whatever reason, it works better than the works on my phone, even though they're both kind of the same generation of, family of devices from Samsung or whatever. But when I was,
loud.
Yeah, no, that's fine. If you're hearing something it's video game related. If you're hearing something going on in there, so I was like, all right, let me bust out the DualShock 4, hook that up too, and maybe do some PlayStation 5 remote play. I don't know if it's a Sony problem. I don't know if it's a Samsung problem, but I can Bluetooth the controller to it, no problem. But it doesn't read as a DualShock 4, so it doesn't let me do the remote play on the PlayStation app.
That's a Sony problem. Because I had the same thing happen to me before, where I connected Bluetooth, it's on the Surface tablet, and but then the minute I did it through USB, it recognized it right away. So I was like, okay, so I guess you can't connect this. You can't connect this through Bluetooth.
It always worked fine on my iPad.
Huh?
It worked fine on my PC. Yeah. I did that before on my PC when I used to do remote play back in my old house. So Yeah, I mean, it's not what I bought it for, so it was like not. I mean, it would have been like a nice perk, like whatever. But
Yeah.
So back to the actual video game. So Like a Dragon is really good.
It's so good. It's so good.
It's really good. It's really grabbed me. I love all those characters and how goofy it is, and just how much nonsense is happening, and then it gets real serious real quick.
Yeah.
And it gets real goofy real quick. And then the very next thing,
And a little bit of both at the exact same time.
Right. it's real. It's very fun, unpredictable, and it's really helped by getting and now that I've really built my party up. I'm like the whole like bonding piece of it, and like really talking and having little interactions and all that stuff. It's just super fun. I haven't found a really challenging fights yet. I'm sure that will come.
It's coming.
So yeah, I'm just kind of like roaming the town and beating up low-level thugs and doing random missions right now in this new chapter, because when I open this new chapter up, it's just like side quest icons everywhere.
Oh yeah, that was the one. Yeah, there's a ton after that. Yeah, and I was doing.
I've played
everything.
that chapter. It's chapter 9 of Final Fantasy VII.
So
Well, that's every new chapter for Yakuza. Let's put it that way. As soon as you enter a new chapter, oh, here you go.
I'd say when I play, I remember opening the map and looking at it and be like, "No, there's too much here. I'm just gonna stick with the story."
So yeah, and like I'm really enjoying it a lot still, obviously, except I think I'm at like the 25-hour mark, and I'm only like on chapter 7 still. Right. So like I'm just really kind of just rooting around, digging around, and really getting my stats up and things like that, because I'm sure at some point it's gonna get serious, battle wise. So
yeah, I recently had a battle that I did. It took me like 3 tries to get through it. Thankfully, there was a save point like right before it.
They're very good with that stuff. I've seen so far. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, the dungeon had like a long stretch where you didn't have it.
Right.
But right before like the last
big
boss,
thing. Yep.
There was something there. Like, I haven't had a character get downed yet. I don't even know what happens when it happens. So I mean, that's
Well,
not
they get knocked out, and then but there is like you probably haven't yet because you haven't need to use it. But
there's items that revive them.
There is medicine. But you can only buy them at pharmacies. Like you have to go. Like you can't just go to like a Popto. And get it and stuff. You actually have to go find one of the pharmacies. There's a couple different ones. One of them's got like the first aid kits, and those are kind of expensive. They're like 15,000, I think, for one. But then there's another one that's like looks like a super high end one. It's got like 2 different versions, and like you can get one that's like it's a revive, but instead of half your health, it's only like a quarter of the health. So it's like, okay, at least it's cheaper. I can at least get them back and then go from there and stuff like that. But yeah, there was one. I forget which. God, was it in chapter 9? I think it was towards the end of chapter 9. Chapter 9 or chapter 8. But I went through. I had like 7 of those, and I went through all of them.
Oh, wow.
in like the boss battle. So it was a pain in the ass. Like, but I was a little bit under leveled. Like, I clearly even though I do side quests and stuff, I was still a little bit under leveled. And then I was looking. I was like, well, I could kind of level. I can do this stuff to kind of grind, but this will take forever. So I'm like, I'm just gonna battle my way through it. I gotta make sure I gotta be a little more cautious with my healing. And like, all right, this guy's less than half. I don't care. Got to heal and let's go. And so, but no, it does. There are some stuff, and then the nice thing too is now that you've completed the dungeon, you can go through it again if you want, and like that helps level up and stuff. And it is way harder than the first time you went through it.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and I'm really liking the battle system too. Just I mean, it is turn based. It is a little bit active with like button prompts and even like the location of where your characters are at and things like that. Like, if I know I'm gonna knock somebody down, I try to do that while I'm by somebody else so they can kind of follow up and do a secondary hit.
Yep.
There's little things like just one more little twist on that gameplay, which I really do enjoy.
Also, the one thing I noticed about, like you mentioned positioning, it's like you have to make sure there's not an enemy between you and the guy you're going for, because he'll cut off your attack, and then that guy's turn is wasted.
Yep. I've done that a couple times by accident. It's like, God damn it.
I got into it was one of those part-time hero missions, and we were by like a subway exit, and I hit him, and he like fell down the stairs, which was awesome.
Yeah.
But now he's at the bottom of the stairs. I only had 2 characters fighting at that point for some reason. I forget what the reasoning was.
Yep.
And like, and there was like but they would like be on standby up the stairs and around the corner. So like I would have to go to attack. They have to come downstairs, roll around, go downstairs, hit the guy, come back, and it's just like just stay where you're at and follow up, because it's just like
it gets crazier. Well, it's because that's kind of like the quote unquote like out of bounds of like the battle because like eventually because there's been a couple times in battle where like my characters have been doing that and then finally I hit them so far out of like the enemy so far out of bounds it just warps back to like the middle of like where we started the battle like kind of thing because it's like all right like yeah like it's open but like there is a invisible barrier of where this battle's taking place basically.
Yeah, so like I do one attack, I do two attack, and the guy who did the first attack is just gone. He's just he's up the stairs and around the corner. I'm like, just stay down here, dude. The fight's down here.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really really loving that game.
Oh yeah, like I said, I'm not gonna be moving on until I finished it. I can tell you that. Yeah. And then other than that, I got my Oculus 2 in, so I got the upgrade. The screen is really nice. It's definitely. It was like the moment I loaded up Beat Saber, I noticed. I was like, holy cow, it's a lot sharper. I also got the Elite strap for it, which is kind of nice. I'm still having troubles figuring out a good position for it. I'm getting a lot of foggy lenses that I'm struggling with. Which the first one I got it. When I first got the Quest, I had that a lot, and then all of a sudden I hit to a point where I guess maybe I just found that sweet spot where like then it like never happened. So I was like, okay, so I think it's just again with this like the Elite strap's nice because it's like it doesn't feel like it's like pulling on my nose.
Yeah,
it's actually pulled up and like back, so that's kind of nice. And but yeah, so I've noticed the screen's really nice, and then so I've been playing Beat Saber again a lot. And then, oh my god, sorry, hang on.
Better?
There we go.
All right.
Okay. And then me and my wife started playing The Exorcist the other night.
Nope.
And so it's like one of those like kind of like a walking sim / like detective kind of game like that, like one of those kind of things.
Mike, it sounds right
like,
for alley.
Wait a minute.
Yeah. It's kind of like one of those kind of games. So like there's 5 different chapters. We got through the first 2 chapters, and like so, but it's very like puzzle solving where you're trying to figure like you're finding evidence and all this other stuff, and then you're trying to figure out what to do with it and stuff like that. Oh man, it gets crazy and like
is it like jump scary or like atmospheric?
Every once in a while, you get a couple of those. Like
No, I don't. This is why I don't.
Like you hear something behind you and you turn around and then there it is, like kind of thing. Like or not like necessarily like in your face, but like it's kind of like one of those where it's like I know I just heard something like the lights are flashing and then all of a sudden like there it is. It's like so like not like jump scare, but like I wouldn't say like. Not like slasher film in your face,
like self-induced jump scare.
Right,
like you're the one moving the frame.
You're kind of the one, happening. Kind of like that, or like you're looking down at something and then you look up and boom, there's something going on there.
I played probably 5 minutes of the Kitchen demo that was on the PSVR. That was ultimately Resident Evil 7.
That was awesome.
Nope. It was not awesome. That was not my gig. I'm totally fine with playing like scary games. I'm totally fine with watching scary movies and scary TV shows, but like VR is just nope, and like haunted houses are just a big nope. And it's just because I feel like, all right, I am now ready to fight, and I just don't want to be like that if I don't have to be like that.
Sure. Yeah, so. but no, it's neat. So gonna go through it. The first 2 chapters took us like not very. The first chapter took us a little while because we were like, okay, what are we supposed to be doing? And then once we kind of figure out what we were doing, like, oh, okay. So then the second chapter, we're like, all right, this is things to kind of start looking for and stuff. So yeah, and it was cool because one of us would be in the Oculus and the other one would be watching on the phone.
Oh, cool.
So like because we had a casting on my phone, so then this way we could kind of like help each other out and stuff, which was kind of neat.
Have you heard? I mean, I don't know Jack about the Oculus 2 in terms of like the game catalog. One of the games that came out last year was a game called Phasmophobia. Have you heard about that one yet, or seen anything about that one yet?
Phasmophobia. I don't think so.
It's like
I've heard the name. I don't know anything.
It's
about
essentially
it,
it's like a ghost hunting game.
Okay.
You can play it both like in regular or in Oculus.
Okay.
No, Oculus.
Yeah.
And but you go into this house and you have specific tools and you're trying to hunt down this ghost. You're trying to figure out but it's like a couple different kind of ghosts it can be, and depending on what kind of ghost it can be, like different things kind of set it off. So you're kind of moving through this house and you're working together with other people to determine what it is.
Yeah.
And like one of the roles of the characters is like the guy in the van and being like, I'm watching these cameras, like, so you're just like so like literally just like in front of your screen on voice chat, seeing like, okay, camera 1 just saw like a shadow go across, and your guy who's actually in the house in the VR headset will go up there and look at it. It sounds awesome.
Yeah, no. I think I've seen some. Now that you've described that, I think I saw someone on Facebook or someone playing it. Yeah.
So I mean, I don't know if that's on the Quest 2.
I'll have to check because
please check
because that'd be really cool. That'd be really neat.
Because I mean, that'd be a cool thing to do. Where I don't know how that would work with like multiple people or something like that. But even it's just like I think that just the premise sounds so freaking cool. So
right,
I would be interested in doing something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, what you playing? Art, what are you playing?
Uh,
This whole
Like,
list, this list I hear so much about.
I know. Oh my gosh.
okay,
I'm intrigued.
I played a little bit more of The Last of Us 2.
Okay.
Not to a point where like I got into a city, I went through, crept through a building, found my way out, and then it immediately had me going back into another building. I'm like, I really don't feel like creeping around through a whole fucking building again. And I just kind of turned it off and haven't gone back to it since. I'm learning that like, as much as I like the story in those games, like the suspenseful games, just not my cup of tea. That's why I'm learning through. It's like it's not a bad game. I was on my top 5 list for last year, but yeah, I just don't like that. Like having to creep around like every corner, waiting to see if something's gonna fucking jump out at you or something. Like the parts of that game where like I'm out in the street and have to worry about fighting human enemies. I enjoy that much more than the whole sneaking around buildings, worrying about if infected's gonna jump in my face or something. So, so yeah, we'll see how that goes. Got annoyed with cheaters in Rainbow Six, so played some Battlefield 4.
Whoa! Wow, you went back.
Oh no, you don't have. I was like, why don't you play 5? It's on Game Pass, but you don't have.
Not on PlayStation.
Not on PlayStation.
It's not on Game Pass on PlayStation, and I own it digital on PlayStation, but Vegas does not. So we played like 2 matches of that. It's fine. It's Battlefield. It's Battlefield. Get the tank. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
Sounds about right.
Get the tank.
Well, the thing that sucks is like I never played Battlefield 4 online, so I have nothing unlocked.
No, you do not. Yeah, there's a lot to unlock.
Well, that doesn't help at all.
Yeah, so I'm just sitting there with like the basic loadouts, and I'm like, this isn't that fun.
You know, sometimes, and I think it was Bad Company 2.
God, I wish
was
I
like
Bad Company.
Oh, Bad Company was so good.
A, that game was great. B, that was also kind of like our peak when we were all playing online together and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like, we were all playing that game a lot, and like, you never know, every once in a while you just find yourself just being very good at one very stupid thing in video games. I was amazing at helicopter piloting in that thing. Like I could, like I get someone in the gunner seat, and I would just slow roll and just like tilt perfectly, and it would just be beautiful. And then I think the game that came after that was 4, and they kind of changed some of the physics on how the helicopters work, and my tricks did not work anymore. So I was not good.
They learned.
Or they actually made them like, not easy. Yeah. I just in my brain, I'm like, I'm really good at this. Like,
more realistic.
Yeah, right. and Battlefield games, my self-assigned role is destroy tanks.
Nice.
Got Vegas and I had this like
it's such an asset if you're the person who's gonna keep throwing yourself the tank till it's gone, because those tanks will just obliterate your team if they hunker down in an area.
Vegas and I had it down because if you're good at if you were good at flying the helicopter, you're also good at flying the drone because it's literally the same exact thing. So he would just strap like a bunch of C4 to the drone, and I would fly it into the building where the thing was, and I was like, all right, hit it, and like it would take off like 75% of the entirety of the health for that. I forget it was a bomb or whatever you're trying to destroy in those buildings.
Right.
But like we had that down to a science. I'm coming back. Load up.
And then, so as I mentioned last time, there's the kid got a Switch for Christmas, and the wife bought a Switch. Yeah. So now, when the kid's awake and we're spending time together as a family, he's playing video games, she's playing video games. I'm sitting there with my thumb at my ass.
How the turntables have turned.
Yeah, exactly. So I hooked up my Xbox
Switch.
No.
Oh, okay.
Put my Xbox One X on my front room TV, and so I got to dabble around in Game Pass a little bit.
All right.
Oh, there you go.
So let's see, I played some more Slay the Spire, which I played a while ago, which they've added a ton to since then. And the fact that it's been like a year since I played it, I don't really remember what my strategies were, but they've definitely added stuff that wasn't there before. That's that much I could say. I played Titanfall 2 for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Seems like a good game. That one I will probably go back to.
It's
story's awesome.
Yeah, and there's a couple really, really cool levels like in the middle of it. It's like a shortish one. It's like it's a classic like first person shooter. I think it's like 6.5, 7 hours to beat. So yeah, definitely go back to that. That was a good one.
Let's see. I fired up Minecraft to show my kid what Minecraft actually looks like.
And you never saw the controller again.
Well, no, because he has Minecraft on a Switch.
Okay,
but here's the thing: the Switch version has like a Mario pack.
Yeah,
and you can go through and play like a Mario-based game. So he's running around and fucking around with Goombas and stuff like that. And I'm like, all right, here, I'm just gonna load up plain ass Minecraft. I'm gonna find a tree. I'm gonna punch it for a while. I'm gonna have a wooden pickaxe. I'm just gonna start digging. And he's watching. He's like bored. He's like, "Why don't you go back to the real world?" I'm like, "What real world? What are you talking about?" It's like, where are the trees and stuff? I'm like, outside? It's like, yeah. I'm like, I can't find all this coal there. I'm like, look, and now I got coal, and now I have torches, and I can go further underground. And I can just, it's nighttime. I got to cover up the hole up top, start putting torches out, just keep going. That's the first time I probably played Minecraft in 7 years or something. I don't know. Whenever we had our server.
We played a long time.
I played some Streets of Rage 4.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
It's a fun game for what it is. I mean,
Apparently, you can beat the game in like an hour if you
I'm not that good.
If you're good, I guess. Yeah.
that was a caveat I was getting to. I mean, if you can kind of like mow through it if you wanted to.
I like that you can switch characters between levels.
Yeah.
That's nice because I think the first level I went through with whoever the big slow guy is, and that's no fun.
It's so tough.
That's no fun.
No.
All the other characters are so much faster and
Blaze
more
is
nimble,
awesome.
and so yeah, that was fun. And then Mike, I'm probably gonna break your heart on this one, but I fired up Ori and the Will of the Wisps. Granted, I was going through like Game Pass roulette here.
Yeah.
The start of that game starts like trying to introduce you to a story, and I'm like, I can't take this right now. I can't sit through these little things jumping around on the screen and words popping up. I'm like, I just want to play the game some other time. I just turned it off, and I think I went back to Streets of Rage or whatever it was.
Yeah, you need to give that is like it was the same thing when I got my Series X. One of the first things I booted up was Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and the same thing was just like, I just want to see how pretty it is. Can we just get to the game, please?
I was like,
keep going.
I was like, I haven't
Move it.
played one of these Ori games yet, and I hear they're great, and you're not letting me play the game. Just let me play the goddamn game.
You should you can play the second one without really playing the first one to be fine, but you would get significantly better if you plan on getting all the way to the end. You should probably play the first one.
Yeah,
It's just more of an appreciation for what's going on, but by itself is still standalone is still freaking-tastic. Yeah, give that a spin when you have a little more patience.
yeah. It's like, I was in the moment, like I was trying to find something to play and just like get the stick because like I had fired up like 3 different games and played them for a while. I'm like, no, I don't want none of this. And it's not like they're like none of them were bad games. It's just
Right.
it's not what it wasn't scratching the itch at the moment. And then
Sure.
that one, it's like that one. I fired it up and didn't even like let me play. I'm like, nope, I can't do this right now. Also, conversely, now I'm keeping an eye out for Series X.
They should be on sale this weekend.
I know they're damn near impossible to find. I know GameStop's doing a drop tomorrow.
Yep. And Target.
Here, like, I looked at a Series S and I was like, maybe it's not my primary machine. It's just kind of for killing time in the front room. Here's where the problem came in. I know at some point Wolfenstein 3 is going to come out. And I want to be able to play that like as good as I can. Plus, my other thought was like I was looking at the specs in it, and I feel like if I buy the Series X, even if they release a Series XX or a Series Z down the line, like the Series X is still going to be usable. The Series S, I'm not sure how long the shelf life on that's going to be before it's like bottom of the barrel, kind of like scraping by to play games. So.
But
I'd rather just shell out the extra $200
Yeah.
and get the thing that's going to last the generation.
yeah, 100%.
Well, yeah, you might as well. I mean, the S is kind of like one of those things where it's like, okay, I've got the Series X on my super nice 4K TV. My bedroom TV has nothing. You know what? Sometimes I'm just lounging in there, or like, you know what? If I want something where when I'm sick or with something like that, then I'll get an S, the kind of Series S to put in there.
I'm waiting on xCloud to make its way to like the Google Chromecast and stuff like that,
Yeah.
because that's going to be a thing happening sometime soon. I think there's something you can even sideload some of that stuff now on one of those things.
But yeah, my thought is like, eventually when this whole Bethesda thing kicks in and there are going to be exclusives, I'm going to want to play them.
But is Wolfenstein 3 actually coming out? Because Machine Games is making Indiana Jones.
I mean, it'll come out.
It will. Not now, but obviously, but it will.
Way to spoil the news, Dick.
That's all the news, right?
No.
No.
I mean, kinda. No, but kinda.
But no.
Oh, yeah.
Wolfenstein 3 obviously will happen.
But like,
It's
even if
better.
Wolfenstein 3 doesn't come out, like there's gonna be Bethesda's gonna put out games that I'm gonna want to play.
Oh, yeah.
And at a minimum, some of them will be exclusive.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's 3 years down the line that it comes out, who's to say it's gonna run awesome on the Series S at that point?
Yeah,
It'll run on the Series S. Will it run great?
That's all you got?
That's all I got.
All I played was Yakuza. So, Steak, it's coming out in the next couple weeks.
All right. Got just couple of things here. January 28th, The Medium is finally coming
Yeah.
out for PC and Xbox.
I keep seeing they keep showing little snippets here and there of it. It looks very interesting. I hope it can sustain that level of interest
Yeah.
throughout with the little gimmick, the 2-string gimmick thing.
Going back to what I was just talking about with looking for a Series X, I know for however many years here now I've been saying, I'll just play all this stuff on my PC. I can sneak a Series X into my TV stand. I am not sneaking a gaming PC into the TV stand.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where that comes into play. I mean,
For sure.
there's already way more video games in my front room than the wife wants. So I need to kind of try to stick within some boundaries here. My gaming PC is all set up and ready to go in the basement, but
Right.
then I feel like a dick if I leave the wife and kids upstairs. I'm like, oh, you guys are here and I can spend time with you. Bye. I'm going to play video games.
But yeah, I am super pumped for that. Game Pass day one. That's going to be awesome. Also on January 28th, this is also coming to Game Pass, PC, and Xbox. The Yakuza Collection Remastered, Yakuza 3, 4, and 5. So that'll put everything but 6 so far. But they already said 6 is coming. So
Cool.
And finally, on February 2nd, Yeast 9, Monstrum Nox for PS4 is finally coming. And then we had some Game Pass stuff, some other Game Pass stuff. On January 21st, Control for PC. Also on January 21st, Desperados 3 for Android, Xbox, and PC. Donut County for Android, console, and PC.
That's it's like a 2-hour game, and it's very cute and fun, and
It always looks fun. Yeah.
It's not difficult
Yeah.
at all. It's just kind of it's borderline meditative. Like but it has a quirky, fun story going around it. So give it a spin. It's on Game Pass. Why
I
not?
say that sounds like xCloud all over it.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah. Outer Wilds is coming to Android, also on January 21st.
Oh.
On the 26th, Cyber Shadow for Android, console, and PC. As we just said, Xbox Series X and S and PC. January 28th, The Medium. And that's just Xbox Series X and S.
It cannot play on
That's
the
what I
previous
thought.
generation.
That's what I thought. That is awesome. That makes me more excited.
Hey,
for
people are actually releasing next-gen games.
it. Woo!
Yay.
Let's see here.
Better be good.
I'll say I know Stalker 2 is another one of those. It's
yeah.
Series X and PC exclusive.
I forgot about Stalker 2.
Yeah, like we said, Yakuza Remaster Collection, January 28th, and that's it.
Cool. Extra.
It's time for the news. All right, so as Mike was talking about Indiana Jones, basically our news is Lucasfilms Games is making games with people.
Very cool.
So yeah, Bethesda is developing an Indiana Jones game, and Ubisoft announced that they are doing an open-world Star Wars game. Yay! No more EA exclusivity.
And it's not even done yet.
And
That's
NFL, take note.
That's the. No, they just signed an agreement. That's
I
not
know,
going anywhere
right?
anytime soon.
I know.
But what was my point? My point was the EA thing. The EA Star Wars exclusivity doesn't end until 2023.
Yeah,
So they're like, I think they're both ready to be like.
they're ready to be.
I think
done.
they're both ready for the divorce.
Absolutely.
And EA already came out and said that we're still making Star Wars games.
Well, yeah,
Well, yeah,
exactly.
it's just not exclusive.
They don't want all the shit they be.
I mean, Battlefront ultimately was, I assume, good for them because they're still supporting it now.
Right.
Oh my God, what was that?
Fallen Order.
Fallen Order. Thank you. I almost said something child. Again, still messing up. Man, this.
This is really bad today. Like
All right.
I have another microphone at home. I'll bring that.
Okay,
to
good. Maybe we should buy some equipment that's not 4 years old.
The cables are not 4 years old.
That's
The
true.
cables are newer. There's like 3.
We should do some Amazoning here soon. Anyway, the hell was I talking about? Fallen Order.
Yeah, Jedi Fallen Order.
Yeah, I mean, there was
the sequel's coming.
Yeah, 100%.
From Respawn still.
Yeah, and that game was very good.
Yep.
So that's exciting, but like, I mean, this is the same thing with like Marvel, just being like, I want to find good studios to make good games, and that was mostly accurate.
And then Avengers happened.
Hey, it's what are you
Can't win them all.
Can't win them all.
No.
So I mean, there's still a mix. That's ultimately I think what their strategy is, but not just with Star Wars, but with all the Lucas games. So like this, the Indiana Jones game going to Bethesda because Machine Games just needs to punch Nazis, which is totally fine. So
Now we're going to whip Nazis.
yeah, right. There's a whole. New,
I'm in 100%.
This copy paste the assets and just it'll be fine.
And I mean, not directly related, but there's Microsoft's answer to Uncharted.
Yeah. Oh, it totally
Well-
could. It totally can be. Absolutely.
Yeah, we've gone full circle here, right? Whereas it's like, Indiana Jones, inspired Uncharted and Tomb Raider, and then those. We're assuming that it's going to be something like that coming off the Indiana Jones game, because I think the last Indiana Jones game, which is backwards compatible.
It's on Atari.
No, it's backwards compatible on Xbox. It was
original Xbox.
There's an original Xbox game,
Yep.
but that looks awful. I don't know anything about it, but I was kind of cruising around with the system a couple days ago, and I was like, man, there's an Indiana Jones game I could play if I wanted to right now. And it was just like, man, I don't want to play this one.
And that one was actually that was a timed exclusive
You could do a lot of things.
Oh, really?
You wanted to,
on
Mike.
Xbox.
Yeah.
So it eventually did come to PS2, but it was a timed exclusive for Xbox.
What a weird time that was. So I mean, they got those, and he had the old like adventure games and things like that. So and Indiana Jones really hasn't had his day.
Sorry, that one I slipped when I was trying to get it on.
Nah.
And it made a loud noise, so I apologize to the listener.
Jesus Christ.
That was a bad one.
Blow out someone's car speakers.
That's fine.
Or eardrums, one of the two.
Well, I'm right there with you. I'm wearing headphones during this, so. Whew.
Indiana Jones.
The other thing that, kind of became a discussion on, at least on Twitter, with these announcements, which happened on the same day, I'm pretty sure. If not, it was like one day. One was on a Tuesday, one was on a Wednesday or something.
Yeah.
Was like, okay, so not necessarily the Ubisoft one, but Indiana Jones. Like, is Disney and Lucasfilm's going to let this be console exclusive? Are they willing? What was signed to forego potentially that many sales?
That's tough. I mean, this is
I mean, technically, this deal wasn't done overnight.
yeah.
Bethesda technically is not owned by Microsoft yet.
Correct. And like a lot of people are equating like again Spider-Man being a PlayStation exclusive, right? But it's also that's a whole different like bag of worms, whatever that phrase is when you're talking about
sure.
the Sony
Can of worms.
Thank you. Bag of what is it?
Whatever it is.
I got
whatever
a bag of worms.
Oh my God, I'm so tired. Yeah. I had to wake up earlier this morning than usual. Anyway, it's like you can't really equate the two because again, the Marvel and Sony Spider-Man,
There's a pre-existing
triple threat match
relationship
that
there.
they've been having for years. Is God knows what's actually going on there. And then this one, I mean, who I don't know who owns. And doesn't a different company own like Indiana Jones, like the licensing rights to movie? I don't even know how that all works.
Yeah, that's what I'm curious to when it comes to that stuff. But honestly, I can kind of see this being kind of like the less Indiana Jones though, like where I think it might be a timed exclusive though, because like, and I think that's gonna be a lot. I think it's gonna be the case with a lot of the Bethesda games, like past 2022.
Past those like Deathloop and whatever.
I think
Past the stuff that the ink's already dry on.
right,
that
exactly.
Microsoft can't change.
And this kind of is like the beginning of that, I think, because they didn't say much on purpose,
Right.
because of that.
Well,
So I think it's going to be a timed exclusive. Is my guess.
They didn't say much, and also neither of these announcements, the little pictures or videos they had for them, none of them had the Xbox logo on them.
No, they had nothing on them, and then also someone pointed out that PlayStation never retweeted it,
Right.
as well.
But here's
Xbox did, but PlayStation did not.
right. Here's my thought. It's either going to go one of two ways. Either it's going to be timed exclusive, like you said, or if things were already negotiated and they can't make it exclusive, it's going to be like Destiny on PlayStation, where all the advertising makes it look like this is the only place you can play it, but really you can play it the other place. We're just never going to mention that.
Yeah,
Right.
and I mean, ultimately too, this game's probably like 2 or 3 years out, and
Yeah.
God knows what console sales are going to look like at that point either. So like,
Well,
it
right.
could be 50-50, it could
Yep.
be 70-30. God knows what's going to.
Will consoles be in stock by then?
I mean,
That's
that's not a problem for us, but whatever.
Right.
Well, it's a problem for you now.
Well, yeah.
It's a new problem.
Wait a second, I just thought of something. I didn't hear in your all your games you're playing. You're not playing Hitman 3?
So let's talk about that.
The thing about that
For
is-
whatever reason, the thing with that is, for whatever reason, the Sony ecosystem just fucking hates my guts.
Oh God.
So I pre-ordered it, and for whatever reason, it didn't install on my console automatically.
Oh.
So I went downstairs to go play it today, and I went in, and it's not installed. So I had to go fiddle fucking around through the store to find which Hitman 3 is actually the one for the PS5.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
And when I finally found it, I had to download that. I had to download whatever the passes are to get the free passes to
And
get
you already
the
had that,
Hitman
like,
1 and 2.
Right,
yeah,
right.
Yeah, and that's, I'm like, oh great, it's gonna be a PlayStation. Here we go. I own 1 and 2 on there already. I downloaded those last week in preparation. And I got to download these passes, and I'm like, well, it's gonna be downloaded and installed in about 25 minutes. I got 35 minutes to start dinner, so this is a waste.
Oh, all right.
Actually, it downloaded to the point where it said like you can play this now, and I went in and went to the tutorial. It's still the same tutorial from Hitman 1.
It's the same. It's the same UI and everything is right here. It's
Yeah.
it's basically like
It's more Hitman from what I hear.
All right, cool.
Which that's what I'm kind of hoping. Another thing with the start of that game is you start and it gives you a prompt. It's like, hey, if you have progress from Hitman 2, you can import that progress now. However, you can only import your progress one time.
Okay.
I never played all the way through Hitman 2, so I'm not importing my progress just yet.
That makes sense.
I got you.
So at some point over the next couple days, I'm probably going to just do a one-time through each mission in Hitman 2 to speedrun that to get whatever I can.
Yeah.
And, and I remember part of the thing I didn't necessarily like about Hitman 2 was so Hitman 1, the story, which while the story is minimal in Hitman, they actually had videos of what was going on.
Okay.
In Hitman 2, that's right when they broke from...
That was one that was
whoever.
published by Warner Brothers, right? Not
Yeah, I think so.
Square Enix before.
Right. Square was
so.
the first one. Warner Brothers was the second
Now this
one.
one's self-published.
Yeah.
But all the story stuff was just still pictures with talking over it. And I was like,
Okay.
that's...
Yeah.
But I think with that one, too, I also burned myself out because I was like, I'm going to get really into this one. And I'm going to do everything multiple times. And I'm going to get the silent assassin on all of them. And I think I did 2 of the missions. And I was like, I'm good. Something else came out.
It's too much.
So I think at some point I'm just going to load it up and speed run through all the levels and kill the people very sloppily and then import my progress. Yeah.
Fair enough.
So yes, I have it. I paid for it. It's installed now.
One day you'll play it.
However, it was not
Someday.
installed. It was not installed when I wanted it to be installed. When I needed it to be installed.
I got you.
Makes sense.
All right. What are we talking about? What other news you got? Was that it?
That's it.
All right. So what order do we want to do this in? Do you want to do games for Karen or do we want to do most anticipated? Probably games for Karen first, right?
I have one game for Karen.
You have one?
It was the only way I could.
Karen's looking forward to this, by the way.
I started looking through
Don't let her down.
some stuff, and it came. The first was.
and then he just played Yakuza instead.
I'm sure. Well, I kind of did, yeah. The little bit.
I don't blame you.
The little time I had.
I'm blaming you.
But so let me. Since you have probably a couple, let me jump in. Let me grab my one. Oh Jesus Christ! Okay, yeah.
Jeez.
I got 15, 7, I got 17 actually.
Jesus
Jesus.
Christ! All right, so yeah, let me definitely grab this one. Okay, so
What, you think she's made of money?
my big
These-
one.
All right, go ahead.
So somewhat popping in my head as we're talking here, but so my big one is Yoshi's Crafted World.
Okay.
I think she would totally adore that. That's the Yoshi's game. That's it's like a platformer, just like Mario, but it's the cardboard / yarn kind of
Yeah.
thing. I mean, when I played the demo myself, I was like, oh, this is a lot of fun. But I was like, I could see myself personally getting bored after a few levels,
Right.
doing the same thing. But something like that. It's cutesy. It's kind of like a basic kind of more Mario-ish kind of thing. But I mean, there's other stuff you can find, which if she wanted to, could go
Sure.
back and find more stuff. But yeah.
I thought I knew you and you're wearing a Slipknot shirt, okay? So, yeah,
And Oculus 2 apparently. You're just really morphing into your husband.
Slowly been drinking craft beer,
All right, that's all you got? All right. Here.
Yeah.
Did you make a list for Karen or is this just me and
No, I didn't make a
That's
list.
fine. I made a list for 2. Outside the obvious of, you gotta get Galagun, you gotta get
Oh, yeah.
you gotta get have Hotful Boyfriend, you gotta get Panty Party, which apparently is a first person shooter where you play as panties.
Wafu Uncovered.
There's another one. See? I knew you had some more.
Jesus.
See, I'm sorry, I did have another one. My bad.
Those were the obvious ones. Some not as obvious ones. Florence was a game I played on the iPad.
Oh, yeah.
It got ported to the Switch last year, whatever it is. It's kind of the story of a breakup and a renewal after that, and it's very very good. I would definitely recommend it. It's a really quick play. It's $2 as well. Untitled Goose Game. I just think she would just adore that goofiness of that game, and just being a jerk goose.
Yeah.
How do you feel? Let me ask you a opinion about Stardew Valley. You think she would like that one?
I'm waiting for her to get bored with Animal Crossing.
Okay.
And
I was gonna say, I
I told her,
that's
I
true.
told her,
I could totally see
I told her, I'm
something
like,
that.
when you get tired with the fact that you can only do so much stuff each day, you let me know. I got another game for you that's very similar that you can just play as much as you want.
I want you to give her this list and have her Google all these because
Yeah.
I want her impressions of what she thinks.
Stardew, I can see her just sitting there.
Yeah.
Just going to town.
Next is Gorogoa, Gorgoa.
Oh, yeah.
It's a puzzle game. It's like a visual. visual novel-esque, but you're moving like this, like the slide puzzle game where you like
Yep.
you have like one empty hole and you gotta move things around. But it's also like perspective based. It's very cool. Again, not that long. It's usually pretty cheap. Grease, spelled Gris, is a pretty minimalist in terms of just like platforming, but it's very, very puzzle solving. Tells a story about a girl who I think is either having depression issues. I think it was the actual moral of this one.
I think so. Yeah.
If memory serves, it's been a while.
That sounds right.
Oxenfree. Teenagers have a sci-fi adventure, and it's just kind of fun and really good story. What Remains of Edith Finch is one of my favorite games, and just really, really good 2-hour walking sim that tells a really great story. Very complex, very, very good.
Did she watch Stranger Things?
No.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I was gonna say, because Stranger Things, like 3 of the games, I think that would
Correct.
have been a good one.
Yeah. I also put it on here, Stories Untold, which I had you play for.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you back in the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Stories Untold is on there as well. It's kind of like a.
Oh, that's good.
It's,
that would be
it's-
fun.
It's
That's fun.
It's like a graphic, almost
Novel.
like an adventure game. Like,
Eventually, yeah.
but it's all text based and
Yeah.
picture based, and it really messes with your mind. It's like you're playing a game where you're playing a text adventure, but but the things that are happening on the screen are actually happening in the world around you. So it's like it breaks like 2 or 3 walls as it goes along the way. It's very, very cool. Scribblenauts.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Scribblenauts is another puzzle game.
That'd be fantastic.
But you get a chance to put in wherever you want to put in, because it's like if you're, let's say the puzzle is you're trying to get from A to B, but between A and B is a river.
Mm-hmm.
So you actually type in like boat, and a boat would appear. But you can also type in green boat, and a green boat would appear. You
Right.
can type in green dragon boat, and a green dragon boat will appear. Like it's however you end it. And there's also solutions. You can do like hovercraft. You can do pogo stick. You can do wherever almost anything you want, and it'll actually make the puzzle. Yes.
Type in Harry Potter World, and then Harry Potter World will appear.
It had a DC license at some point. I don't know about Harry Potter.
yeah, it's just the DC that one.
I didn't. I should have called her like a press secretary. Like, yes, Melissa from House Carnia.
yeah.
Question for Art, actually.
What?
Does Karen have an Oculus?
No.
No. I would tell her play Beat Saber.
We have no VR products in our house.
None?
None.
I think Melissa.
Borrow one. Don't we have like 5? Don't we?
We've got 3 right now.
What's
currently.
that?
second. You have 3?
Well, technically, because I'm gonna. Well, I gotta
2
sell.
Oculuses
I'm gonna,
and a
I'm gonna-
PSVR.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna sell the first.
I thought you meant you had like 3 like Oculuses.
No.
Okay.
2 Oculuses in
Jeez,
right now.
Oculus-
and
Some
a
houses
PSVR.
can't even afford one.
Yeah.
In these tough economic times, you have all these. Yeah, and all.
Saber with me?
Yeah, in these tough economic times, you have oculi. Oh my god, what the hell is I talking about? Yeah, Scribblenauts is really good. Baba Is You. You played that one.
Yes. I have that one.
You should have that
I
one.
just download that
Exactly.
There you go.
That one's super fun. Then Actual Sunlight is the least fun game of all time.
one. Why the hell would you want to do that?
It's about mental health.
I mean,
Oh, I remember that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's totally mental health game.
I was like saying like Vegas wants to play a cop game. He's a cop though.
well, he does play. Never mind. 3/4 Home, similarly.
Oh yeah.
And then Return of the Obra Dinn, Inside, and Limbo, because every human being should play those.
I was
three.
saying, you just have Return of the Obra Dinn on there for yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Those last 3. Everyone who's ever
All right.
played a video game should play those. 3 games.
Someone put your combined lists up on like Google Docs,
Okay.
and let me pull it. And I'm
Can I
gonna,
text you?
yeah, it's fine. Just text me. I'm gonna send her a list. And I'm gonna tell her go on YouTube and find trailers for all these, and tell me which ones you'd be interested in.
All right, cool.
And she likes to read, doesn't she?
Yeah.
I mean, we got.
Someone in our house has to.
Yeah. There's always one in every household. Steins Gate. It's like more of it's like one of those visual novel type games, like kind of like with an anime, but it's like with those, it's like a kind of like a sci-fi story.
Yep.
So it's not like, I mean, it's the appearance is anime, but it's not like anime. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it's but I hear like I've played one of them a little bit of the way through, and that's when I had my Vita. But that the stories of those are excellent. Like those get reviewed very high.
All right, what were the ones you said again?
Yoshi's Crafted World, and then Steins Gate.
Beat Saber.
They don't have that for Switch.
I'll let her borrow her Oculus.
Oh, do you know they don't have those one games? I don't think they have those on Switch. The God, I'm blanking here. The first one was called 999, on DS, and then the
The
second.
Nonary games.
Yes, the Nonary games.
Are they
Those,
not on the? Are they not on the
I don't.
Switch?
I don't know, but those I think would be fantastic. 'Cause those are kind of like another one of those like graphic novel /
Yeah.
detective kind of games. Like I think she might really kind of get into.
What was the waifu one you said? I'm putting them all on here. Waifu Simulator.
Waifu Uncovered?
Waifu Uncovered. Thank you.
She's gonna be like, "What the
Yeah,
hell
the first
is
three are all
this?"
funny ones. So it's like, tell her to get past the first three. And I think you said one more too, didn't you? Uncover. Beat Saber. Okay. Cool. All right. There's that. We will send it to you. I am dying to know what she thinks of those games. All right. Now, most anticipated games of 2021. We do this every year. We're gonna have some overlap because honestly, I was looking through the list, and there's not a ton with like firm like 2021 dates. Like, there's a couple on here that
There's
don't.
like nothing with firm.
You know,
2021.
I assume nothing's a firm date at this point.
No.
in life in general.
I wasn't sure Hitman 3 was a firm date until like yesterday.
And it wasn't because you didn't play it
Yeah.
yesterday.
It turns out later tonight is the firm date,
Ah,
or tomorrow. I don't know.
Art,
Yo,
you go first because you didn't have to do a list for your wife.
no, but I did have a list of video games I played.
That's true.
Okay,
You only do 2 lists. You can't do more than 2.
I'll start with one that
That's asking a lot.
I'll be shocked if there's no overlap here. Back for Blood.
That's
Oh yeah.
I was very disappointed to find out it was coming out in June. I'm like, I wanted it sooner.
I'll settle for June. Just stick to June. Don't move it.
I think that's gonna be one of those things we all gonna be like, we're playing this game, everyone.
Just
we're all
don't.
buying
Just,
this game.
just
We're all
don't
playing this game.
disappoint. Just don't disappoint. That's
From
all.
what I mean,
It looks
from what I've
just
seen
like
of it,
that.
it looks.
Oh, it looks fantastic. I know. But you know how that is. Like we've been through this before
That's
with
one,
other
one,
stuff.
one stage of one level.
Right.
So,
We've totally been through this before.
right. Let's run down your list, Art. That's
Okay,
fine.
I'll run down my list.
Run it down.
The whole list.
Run it down. We're doing it live.
God, this better still come out this year. Horizon Forbidden West.
Yeah, that's coming out this year.
It will.
Come out this year.
It will.
I want more of that world. I've said over and over again that was my favorite game of the previous generation. I just want more.
I think it's definitely coming out this year. I definitely liked it to go into a real place this time because they showed a Golden Gate Bridge in the trailer.
Right.
Yeah, I'm just down to see what else they're doing with that as well. That's also on my list, obviously.
Let's see. I have Far Cry 6.
Oh yeah, I totally
Which-
forgot it was coming out.
That was supposed to be coming out shortly, but that got bumped to TBD.
Yeah,
That's fine.
Weirdly,
With the way Ubisoft's been hit or miss lately, like then.
well, they
It's
also
fine,
they
delayed
also
it.
release like 3 giant games with like a month.
Well,
within a
yeah.
month of each
Well,
other.
right.
I feel like they have their formula for Far Cry down. I'm not worried about Far Cry.
That's true too.
But that's the thing too. I don't like. I mean, Far Cry 4 and 5 were like they had their differences, but they were kind of similar in
Yeah.
a way too. Like so, this one like it's like. I mean,
they were-
I'm not saying like don't vary too far off, but I kind of want to see a little something new, a little bit. We'll see.
I mean, 3 wasn't that different either.
No, you're right.
I mean, they have a formula for those games, which is open world, ton of side missions, charismatic villain.
Which is why I'll probably skip Division 3 because I gave Division 1 and 2 a go.
Well, that may not be coming out for a while.
but if they do that,
Because the team that's doing Star Wars.
well, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
that's true. Well, then that's how they're gonna get me. Fucking Star Wars.
The Division, Star Wars. Dying Light 2.
Oh fuck, I forgot about that.
That's been smooth.
Jesus.
Yeah,
they
I'm not
haven't
sure.
said they haven't said anything since like that E3.
Since E3 2
Yeah.
years ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going off of last known information.
Oh,
Yeah,
for
no,
sure.
no,
No,
absolutely.
absolutely.
Gotham Knights.
Yes.
Yes.
I love. So I really enjoy one of the things I love about the Telltale Batman game was like introduce more of the casual superhero guy here.
Yeah.
Introduce more of this stuff to me that I don't know anything about, and if it's something I do know about, put a little twist on it that I'm not familiar with.
Yeah.
And that has a whole bunch of characters that I'm not really familiar with. So it's all characters I'm not really familiar with.
And I get to play as Red Hood, so I'm in.
No, you will be Batgirl.
I'll be back.
I'll be back, girl. Actually, from what they showed, she looks awesome.
And the last one I have on here is Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart.
Oh,
I didn't put that on
God,
my
it's gonna be
list.
so good.
It's coming out soon too.
That's
Soonish.
supposed to be.
You don't have that on your list.
I don't have it on my list, and I don't know why. I don't have a good reason.
Because they said launch window, which I guess people have been saying launch window is technically 6 months, so that means by April
Okay.
it should be out. We haven't
buy
heard
that.
anything yet, but oh my God, that looks so good.
I mean, the gameplay trailer they had looks really good.
Yeah.
So, and I mean,
And
more
the-
Ratchet and Clank is always good.
Yeah,
I'll go next.
yeah. Go ahead, because I thought we were gonna do this the way we did it before. So
How did we do it before?
we just go through the Wikipedia and I just read them off when we say what we're gonna do.
My bad.
I made a list.
So I'm gonna have to.
My bad.
So I'm gonna. No, it's okay. I'm just gonna do mine as I'm gonna just scroll as I do mine. So
You're back coming up with stuff I didn't even think of. All right, so I got I have Horizon, I have Back 4 Blood, I have Gotham Knights, Deathloop. I'm still cautiously optimistic about that game because
It's one of those things like I'm teetering on the edge of interest and not interest. Cause
yeah,
before when they talked about it, it's like, oh, it's PvP. There's the sniper character and there's the one running through the loop. But now, from what I heard last time, it's like the PvP is optional and there is a single player component to it. Which I don't know if that means just the computer's the sniper or what's going on.
That's why I'm cautiously optimistic. 'Cause
Yeah.
I don't know what knows.
Right,
I mean,
exactly.
every trailer looks so cool, and
Yeah.
every trailer is like that really cool style to it.
but yeah, I
like,
love the grindhouse. I
Oh,
love that
God,
whole
I love it
grindhouse
too.
thing. But it's like, but again, same thing. It's like it's like okay, is this PvP or not? Like
Right.
like if there's an option not for that, even if it is just computer,
Right.
I'll play like when it's cheap or whatever. However, I can. I'll play through it just so I can get the story and stuff and check
Right.
out the grindhouse. But if it's PvP only, I will never touch it.
Right.
I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Personally, that's just
And
me.
that's
I
what I'm
mean,
thinking about too. Is just like I don't know. It's like this,
Honestly,
there's too much unknown with that.
I
game.
have some
Right.
video game PTSD when it comes to PvP games and snipers. If it's Battlefield or Call of Duty or Rainbow Six, if
Any
there's a sniper,
first-person
if
shooter.
there's a sniper in the game, they're shooting me,
Yeah.
and I'll have no idea where they are, even on the kill cam.
God of War Ragnarok, which I assume is still coming out this year.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll see. And we'll see what
We
it
can all
what-
hope.
We'll see what it is. Is it a sequel? Is
Right.
it one of those like 1.5 deals?
Right.
It's not done by Cory Barlog this time. So like my two favorite God of War games were ones he did. So like I don't have. They don't even know who's running that game like right now.
Right.
So no one's been announced. So it could be the rumor. I forget the guy's name, but the guy who was like the story lead is most rumored to be on that, which is great because the story was awesome. Yeah, just more God of War would be good. What else haven't we talked about yet? Oh, Resident Evil Village, or 8, depending on how you're
Yes.
depending on how you're highlighting the village.
Oh, shoot, that's tomorrow.
Correct, and tomorrow or
Well,
yesterday,
from
depending.
recording.
On,
Yeah.
the 21st is the Resident Evil showcase thing that's going to show Village and apparently other Resident Evil projects,
Excellent.
which is awesome. Resident Evil's been on a roll recently because I love 7. 2 remake was amazing. Remake 3 was also very, very good. Yeah, I'm in. This game is not announced yet. I'm assuming it's coming out. WWE 2K22 because I liked 19. 20 was a terrible mess.
Yeah.
Buggy mess. 21 they skipped. So what's
22 is going to be awesome.
I'm saying it's been like what I'm saying like they get a whole extra year of development time. Like what
Right.
does that even look like? What does that even like? What could it be? I'm just curious.
Ask the NBA Live people.
Oh no. Fuck it. This is 2K we're talking about here. They don't mess up. They don't mess up multiple years in a row. And then last but not least, for the third straight year on my list is 12 Minutes.
Maybe it comes out this year.
It's hopefully will come out this year.
It has to. It has to.
And it's like every time it comes back, they showed it like a while ago. It looked fun. They showed it again. It looked like more gritty and even like more open ended in terms of all the things that can happen in this time period in this 12-minute loop where you're sitting down to dinner with your wife. Someone breaks in, kills your wife. Kills you, but then like you restart 12 minutes again. So you got to figure out how to get out of that situation within that 12-minute loop. And it just sounds endless. And then they come back with like a voice cast that has like Daisy Ridley and William Dafoe, and I forget who the other guy is a known actor. But like, just put the goddamn game out. Like I feel like they stopped putting these like, all right, hold on, we can get actors now, so scrap all this voice.
This is the new Cuphead. This is the new Cuphead.
Don't say that.
It's only boss battles.
It was only bad. So like, and it's like I've been putting it on my list for 3 years now, and I just really want to play that game, and it should come out this year, hopefully. It just looks so much fun, and it scratches every one of those like weirdo gaming itches I have. So I really want to play that game.
I have a feeling that they kind of
Groundhog's Day. That's your game when your gaming itches.
Speaking of VR games, do you know there's a Groundhog sequel on PlayStation? I know is at least on PlayStation VR where you play as whoever Bill Murray's character and that woman's
Phil Connors.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
You play as Phil Connors' son, and you go back to Punxsutawney, and you start having the Groundhog Day like thing happen.
That's awesome.
It's a VR. Yes, it's at least on PlayStation VR. Beyond that, I have no idea. I can't tell you if it's good. I can't tell you anything else about that.
Just exists.
I know that it's real, and you can look at it and you can play it if you'd like.
Sounds like something that's worth it. $5 or less. Totally worth it.
I gotta look it up. So go ahead. You
Yeah,
do
take a
your
look.
How much is this game?
Yeah. All right. To kick off my list, I'm super, super pumped for Bravely Default 2.
Oh, yeah.
This is like a classic Final Fantasy kind of style with all the different jobs and stuff like that for coming out for Switch. It looks great. I'm super, super pumped for that.
Sorry. Groundhog Day, like father, like son. Is the name of the game. Over under. How much do you guys think it is? How much do you think?
Oh
that
my
game
God. You saying this, it's like $15, isn't it?
Is? It's $14.99.
That's God, that's too much.
But you went over. So you lose.
Damn it.
$1.
Let me see if I can read the description here. Hold on. PlayStation VR is not for children under 12. That's not what I'm looking for. From the developers of Deadlight, Rhyme, Sexy Brutal, The Invisible Hours, and comes Groundhog Day, like father, like son, a modern-day comedic story featuring puzzles and branching narrative paths. Players take on the role of Phil Connors Jr.
Phil Collins.
His rolls off the tongue. The charming but arrogant son of the original film's protagonist, returning to his hometown of Punxsutawney, Pennsylvania, Phil Jr. becomes trapped in a time loop just like his father before him. Players will solve puzzles, interact with new and familiar characters, and explore the town as they try to escape the time loop.
Wow.
One player. PlayStation VR required.
All right.
So
Interesting.
there it is.
All right, then. It exists. Something I'm kind of curious about to see. We'll see how this turns out. Is that Prince of Persia, the Sands of Time remake? I'm kind of curious. That it was a little rough when they first showed it off, but they did delay it, so we'll see. I am shocked this one wasn't on your list. Returnal, the new Housemarque game.
I don't know what it is. I mean, I know what
Yeah.
it is, but I don't know if it's like
I don't know what it is.
It's like a third-person shooter. Is it a top-down shooter that they went behind the shoulder? Like I don't know what's going on in that
Right.
thing.
I don't disagree.
I do like
but
Housemarque,
It look.
so-
I was saying it's Housemarque. It does look. It looks interesting, and it's PS5. Like it's not PS4. It's just PS5.
I didn't know
PS5.
that.
So, as far as I know.
See,
Yeah. Another game I'm kind of curious about. Here is Blonde Wonderworld. That's that adventure game that from Square Enix.
I thought you said Blonde Wonderworld.
No.
Like, what kind of weird shit are you watching?
Blonde
That's what I heard. I'm like-
Wonderworld.
I was like,
Blonde.
what are you into, you weirdo?
Oh, you have no idea.
Oh, I have some idea.
So yeah, very curious to see how that turns out. There's actually a demo coming out next week for it. No. Yeah, there's.
No, you've only seen my penis. Nicholas Scott says that.
So there's a.
Yes, I do. Now that you said that,
No, but I think you made that up.
I didn't connect that in that moment
You
though.
don't know me. You've only seen my penis.
But yeah, there's a demo coming out next week for it, so I'll get a little more of an idea of what's going on with that then.
That's all she wanted to say. She's out.
That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
All right, folks.
Thanks, you've been great.
See his penis.
I forgot that Disco Elysium is finally coming out on
that's
consoles.
right.
So I'm like that was like hugely praised on PC. Like
Yeah.
so I'm curious. Like I've
That
been
was
waiting
like
for it to become a console.
Some people's game of the year last
And,
year.
and, it's
Yeah.
coming, and it's coming out with full voice acting too.
Oh, cool.
So that's a bonus. And apparently it's like a detective story. So
Yes.
I'm in.
Yep.
So it's releasing on PS5 first, PS5 and PS4 first, and then
Is it a date on
Xbox
that?
later.
Like a ballpark date?
Right now it's TBA in March. TBA.
Okay.
So I think because I think they said like early spring or something. I hope this comes out in 2021. Kenya, The Bridge of Spirits. It's that PS5, PS4 like India
Been
game
delayed next year.
Yeah.
I think.
to 2022.
think
Oh, I
so.
thought last year they said it was delayed to 2021.
That'd be a
Oh,
bummer.
well,
That one was
find
good too.
Yeah, because that looks really really cool.
Yeah.
Looks like a lot of fun. Let's see here. I am actually kind of like after the last trailer, it actually looked kind of interesting. I'm kind of curious to see how they switch up and evolve Pokemon Snap on Switch. That's coming out in the end of April 30th. They finally announced.
Wait, a Nintendo game's coming out?
Yeah, I know, right?
Shut up.
Actually, there's one every month.
What else is coming out?
Well, February we've got Super Mario 3D World.
Okay.
And
Apparently-
Bowser's Fury, which
Apparently
looks
it's like
awesome.
Yeah, apparently this is like an Odyssey level.
Yeah. So that looks awesome.
Yeah. Didn't Super Mario 3D World just come out at the end of last
No,
year?
No.
that was all 3D All Stars.
Doesn't it have 3D World in it?
No.
No,
The fuck does it have in it?
because it wasn't an All Star. I
Three-
don't know. Art is the question. Answer to your question.
3D World was the one that was on Wii U, which introduced the cat suit and everything like that. Actually, that was from 3D Super Mario 3D Land that was on 3DS. So this is actually a remake of a remake. And then in March, the big Switch title is, like I said, there's one every month. Monster Hunter Rise.
Oh,
Is at the end
yeah.
which,
Okay, fair enough.
That's right. I did download that demo. I've barely touched it, but I can tell you it looks incredible on handheld mode.
And this is, I'm just really hoping that, we're going back to the 3D world, this is now, another Wii U transport over. This is now the 35th anniversary of Zelda.
Yes.
So I want the Wind Waker port best be coming.
I want Wind Waker, Twilight Princess. Give us Skyway Sword as well.
And those are those last two. I only played a little bit of Twilight Princess.
I only played very little Twilight
and I never
Princess.
played any.
Never. Yep. Same here.
Of the
Never
other
played
one.
Skyward Sword.
That Kena Bridge of Swords is delayed to Q4 2021.
Oh God damn
For
it!
now.
Jesus,
like, eh.
that's so late. That sucks. Let's see here. How do we feel about Ghostwire Tokyo?
I was like, man, it looks awesome. I need 2 years ago, and then last year they showed it, and it was just like,
Oof.
that's not what I wanted. That's not what I was thinking it was going to be, because it's like all the weird like hand motion, like first person,
Yeah.
like spell casting kind of stuff. I don't know. I wasn't vibing with what they showed.
I agree. This I don't think they ever announced an official delay for this. I think it was supposed to be fall of last year, but Axiom Verge 2 was supposed to be out last year.
God, give that one guy a break. Whatever the hell his name is.
All right, let's see here. Now I'm in the stuff that does not have dates. So let's see what we got.
This is curious, and
This is the stuff that another Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes. So a third one.
I think they plan to do 7 of those.
Holy shit! Well, hopefully the engine's getting better as they go on.
Well,
I didn't hear much about the second one at
I didn't hear
all.
anything about the second one. And I'm interested. I mean, I said I was very happy that it was relatively cheap. I would definitely play it on Game Pass. It was currently Man of Medan is it currently on.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Little Hope to be on that now.
Yeah. I'm sure eventually.
But it was interesting enough. It was, I mean, still nowhere within a mile of their first game, their horror game. I'm really tired and can't remember think of what it's
Until
called.
Dawn.
Until Dawn. My God, I really like that game a lot.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It just doesn't reach that level of like quality is really the best way to put it, because like I said, it skips and stutters. And is that a scary thing or is that an engine problem? Like,
Right.
I don't know.
Right. This one, I'm excited to see how it does, but unfortunately, it's not my type of game because, well, Laurie's, I would be all over it. Evil Dead, the game. Unfortunately, it looks like a VPE kind of thing, in which I don't play, but I love Evil Dead. But I'm curious to see how it does. So I'm hoping it does well. Let's see here. What else we got? Oh, Gran Turismo 7. I forgot about that. Is that coming out in 2021?
Believe when I see it.
Supposedly that's supposed to be first half of 2021 too.
I don't think
Believe
Gran
it
Turismo 6 came out. I think that's still been. I don't think that has been.
I think everyone forgot that Gran Turismo 6 came out.
I don't know. I remember renting Gran Turismo 2. I think like twice. Like everyone said, this is the best game. And I was just like, I hate this. I'm changing like strut tension. I don't know what the hell's going on. I'm 9, so I don't know. I just can't get into that.
I'll say, same boat. I played some of the earlier ones, and it always bothered me that you had to like pass a license test to unlock the next chunk of the fucking game.
I was so bad at that because I was just like, I just pressed the gas button.
How about if I just? Why don't you just make like a minor league series of racing, and then a pro series, and
And honestly, that's why I really appreciate Forza, even though I never played those games. Like you have the Forza Motorsport, which is like their Gran Turismo version of it, and then they have Horizon, which is just like fun.
Yeah.
Let's have some fun with video games.
Well, even Forza Motorsport is like not nearly as serious as Gran Turismo. Even like I find myself progressing better in Forza than I ever did in Gran Turismo.
Well, I like the Forza games too. I feel like they give you like some coaching to help you get better.
do.
Like they put the lines on the track that you should be staying on to, do your most efficient run. And obviously, if you choose to accelerate, through a turn when you should be slowing down a little bit, and you fall off that line, well, then it's on you, and you know where you went wrong. It's not you're not sitting there going, "Oh God, this is impossible."
Right. I said the last Gran Turismo I really got into was 3. That was on PS2, A-Spec. I put a shit ton of hours into that one, but that was mainly because I wanted my blue with white racing stripes Dodge Viper. I was obsessed with that car when that game came out, and I was like, oh my god, I see this. So I just played the same race that I knew I could win over and over again to get. And then once I got my Viper, I'm like, I can't handle this.
You would try driving it.
I was like,
and
oh my god,
it was a rear wheel drive.
Yeah. Jesus, I'm all over the road. I'm curious to see more of this game that they showed off during the Xbox thing. The Gunk.
The what?
The Gunk. That was during that Xbox game showcase that they kind of showed off. It looked like kind of like just like a I don't know, just a crazy fun. Like it looked like fun. It just looked fun.
Yeah, I made fun of that game because it was like supposed to be like here's a big first. Here's a big like game.
The way they were showing,
here's a big game releases for the Series X. The Gunk. Who wants to play the Gunk? Everyone line up for the Gunk.
No.
But that was interesting. That was a moment in time that was not good for the Gunk. But it has nothing to do with the quality of that game whatsoever. Because you're right, it looked totally fine.
Yeah. I can't wait. I can't wait to see. Even though I'm not big into it, I just can't wait to see what they've done with Halo Infinite and how they've changed it and what they've done.
Yeah.
I'm very curious.
As far as it coming out this year, I'll believe it when I see it.
I think it will be. I think it'll be at the end of the year. I think it'll be for fall.
Believe it.
I also think there's going to be at some point in time there's going to be some kind of effect of the Cyberpunk 2077 debacle in terms of just being like releasing a game that's not ready to be released yet.
Right.
I know you didn't talk about it in your new. Real quick, I got to talk about the Jason Schreier article. Have you get a chance to read any of that or see any of that yet? No, he got
Bloomberg paywalled it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, that's why I listen to other podcasts that give me the rundown.
I tried clicking on a link to it that somebody linked, and I got as far as seeing like the article and who wrote it and like the first paragraph, and then boom, paywall. I'm like, all right, well, I'm out.
I'm good.
Well, the main piece of it is like even though it got announced like 7 years ago, like it really didn't start actual development until like 2018. So like and multiple times throughout the entire process, they're like, we're not hitting 2020, like we're not. And the whole reason you're trying to hit 2020 is because you're trying to double dip on the consoles. You're trying to release it once on last generation and this generation. I mean, there's also a bunch of other stuff in there in terms of just like workplace madness and everything else that goes along with that. But ultimately, it came down to being like, we can't do this. And you're like, yes, you can. Know why you can? Because you made Witcher 3. Well, okay, I guess let me wave my magical wand and.
Well, you are right in that aspect. We did make Witcher 3.
Yes, we did. Yeah, there's cause and effect. Just because I made this doesn't mean I can make this in that time frame.
I could make this, just not in the time frame you're giving me.
Right.
Yeah. So there was a lot of things like that. So it's just like it was. It's kind of what we surmised when we talked last time. It was just being like the project management was just all the way up their ass.
Yeah.
All these games that get delayed and then have the mandatory crunch towards the end. It's all shitty project management. Take an intro to project management course in college. You will find that this is all the shit in the video game industry. The delays and the crunch and everything. It's all the result of just terrible, basic project management.
But it's also all the studios that are just like, we're not doing that. Like, we're not crunching no matter what. Like, it'll come out when it's ready. And a lot of like those more like independent studios are allowed to do that because they don't have the overlord, whether it be shareholders or the publishing company or whatever it is, breathing down their neck.
Well, that's 12 minutes for you.
You leave 12 minutes alone. 12 minutes is so ambitious. They're so ambitious.
Listen,
they can't fit all the story in 12 minutes.
The way you're talking about 12 minutes, it's the way people were talking about Cyberpunk before. They just wanted it out. And they got it out.
I mean, I want to play it. I want to be good. But we're also talking about a game that is, centralized into one apartment, as far as I know.
At least Cuphead, like, it hit what everyone wanted to hit. Like, the reviews were extremely high for it. Like, you know what I mean? It wasn't one of those things where, like, it took forever, and then it got 5s. You know what I mean? Or less. You know what I mean? At least it hit.
I mean, and Cuphead literally added, like, 2/3 of a game.
Shit. Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just a boss rush anymore.
Right.
Well, the one thing about Cyberpunk, did you watch or read, like, any of the video that I don't know if it's the CEO or the founder
I watched the one they did release. And that just seemed like so generic.
It was so generic, and it was... The guy's full of shit.
Well, yeah.
It looks like he said, like, oh, we didn't know the game was going to be in that state when we released it. So did you code it and not play test it? How did you not know it was going to be in that state? There's no way you could tell me you didn't know that the game was going to go out like that.
They need someone. They need someone to kick his door into his office and be like, "This is our public relations person.
Yeah.
You are done talking.
Yeah.
They will talk, and when they talk, they're not going to say anything, but
Right.
they're going to be the ones doing it. You need to go away.
Right,
'Cause the
exactly.
whole like that's like, well, we didn't know the previous generation was going to be so bad. Like bullshit.
Did
what
you
are you
test it on a
talking about?
PlayStation 4?
What are you talking about?
Do you not have the means to get a PlayStation 4?
Well, the thing is like
Didn't you originally develop this game for 3 years on the PlayStation 4? Like, it's, oh my
well,
god. it's
no,
so
we didn't
bad.
actually start developing anything until 2016. And
18, I believe, is the correct year.
No, I think it was 2016.
Was it?
Because
Okay.
they showed it off though. I think for the first time in 2014, and then it was 2 years after that is when they actually started development.
right.
And then when they showed off the
Oh, 18 was a demo.
the
Right?
demo,
The fake- that's
the fake demo.
That's where I got
demo.
2018 from.
The dev said that they only worked on the demo in 2018, and then but it was not even the game. They're like, hey, you need to make this look like this.
Yeah, it's like that's tricky though too, because that's not that. I think to me that doesn't sound that different than someone taking a vertical slice out of a game.
Oh, I don't
Because it's
disagree,
like-
but it seemed like it wasn't even a vertical slice though. It was completely different.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I mean, I played that level. I watched that video and I played that level, and it was close.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no different than watching some other videos come out and then playing the game and it looked not the same. I don't know. That I'm not giving them any passes on this though.
Oh, yeah,
Ultimately,
no,
it's
this is
just
just
like what
ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous is the exact word for it. Anyway,
Well, and it's unfortunate now that it sounds like the next gen upgrade is not happening until the end of this, like closer to the end of this year, which I have a feeling
because they have so much other bullshit they need
right,
to fix.
which it should have probably been like probably late spring, early summer would have been my original guess, but now it seems like it's going to be fall.
well, it sounds like
Well-
everyone could have been like, we can do 2022,
Well,
which sounds
yeah.
like about when they're going to be releasing the next gen patch and whatever
right.
it is.
yeah, they said they should have delayed it another year at least. But also, it's all convenient about all this is by the time that next gen patch comes around, it'll be playable on consoles and there'll be more consoles out there. That's right around the time people start thinking about awards.
There's no way.
We'll see. We'll see if it can rebound.
way.
It's a good game on PC if you have one that can play it.
I said this before too. Like I was really enjoying my time on the Series X with it too. Yeah. But at this point, like there's so many other things that are also broken with that. Also, a lot of them being like save crashing bugs, and I don't want to put all the time into it. Have my save blow up on me. So I'm gonna sit where I'm at right now, stop, and then I will wait for the next gen.
Well, plus it's not like
patch to go through.
you have a shortage of games to play.
I have the opposite at
Exactly.
this point.
Yeah.
There's plenty of good complete games out there for you to play.
Yeah.
That you can afford to put that one on the back burner
Right.
until they put out, its final form.
Right. We just reached this final form.
Okay.
What they actually released was Cyberpunk 2076. In fall of this year, you'll have Cyberpunk 2077.
Goodness. I am curious to see more on this one because they really haven't shown a whole lot. But it's supposedly supposed to completely change the engine and everything. Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker
Oh, yeah.
saga. It's supposed to be like a completely brand new Lego game, like not like the formula we're used to.
Yeah.
So
Interesting.
I'm very curious still. Like the little bit they have showed looks different and looks cool, but it's been very little that they've showed on this. So and it's taking a long time, which is fine. Like I think that's actually a good thing for something like this.
There's 9 movies.
My kid likes the Lego
Well,
games.
yeah, that too. Oh my God, are they seriously making? They're making another Laser Shoot Larry game. Wet Dreams Dry Twice. Yes.
It just keeps getting grosser. And
I
I
love
for Karen.
There we go. Well, we'll see if this game comes out this year because we haven't seen anything really on it yet. Lord of the Rings Golem.
Oh, yeah, that's a game.
I don't know if we'll see that this year. Harry Potter got delayed to 2022.
Yeah, I saw that.
But there's been no word about this yet. But yes, I'm curious to see where.
That's a game I'm going to use to justify a new Xbox in the front room.
There you go.
There you go.
It's for you, babe.
That'll do it.
So I keep telling her, I'm like, you're not going to be able to play that on the Switch unless maybe you can stream it. But even then, who knows?
No, don't do that. Don't stream.
As
to
I
the
told her,
Switch.
I'm
No.
like, you can stream. I heard it's not great, but it might be an option.
I heard.
No.
I mean, I did the demo for Control, and it totally was fine. But like I said when I talked about it before, like in a world of digital licenses and things like that, the one I have the least like belief I'm ever gonna see that like is a cloud-based Nintendo
Right.
license. Like,
They're
I might as well.
They're just going to shut those servers off someday.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, just
Oh, we need to spin up new servers for Switch 2, so we got to shut down the old Switch 1 servers. If you want that game, you can buy it again on the Switch 2 cloud.
Yep. Agreed.
yeah, just throw your $6 in the garbage.
Yeah. No, thank you. Let's see here. I'm excited for this one. Monster Hunter Stories 2: Wings of Ruin. I really enjoyed Monster Hunter Stories on the 3DS. That was a lot of fun. It's very different from just regular. It's a Monster Hunter world in that setting, but it's very different.
Okay.
Oh yeah, No More Heroes 3. Super pumped for No More Heroes 3. Those games are fantastic. What's your? I'm curious to see more at Psychonauts 2.
I gotta play that first one.
First one's a ton of fun. But now that he's got some Microsoft money, I'm curious to see how this goes. I'm sure it'll be pretty good here. Let's see here. I want to see more Scarlet Nexus. That's that hack and slash kind of anime game they showed off at the Xbox event from Namco.
Oh yeah.
Bandai Namco. They look interesting. Look it'd be kind of cool. Shadow Warrior 3.
Oh
Yeah.
I really gotta play
That
2.
game's so wild.
Yeah, that game.
I haven't played 2,
I haven't played
but the first one was so wild.
The
Like,
first one was a lot of fun.
oh yeah. Couple more for me here. Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne HD remaster for Switch and PS4, and then Shin Megami Tensei 5 for Switch as well. Those are both supposed to be coming out in 2021. Excuse me. So I'm super pumped to see those. Like I mentioned earlier, Stalker 2. The little bit they showed of that looks awesome. I mean, it's gonna be a Game Pass Day 1 game, so clearly I will play it. And it's supposed to be 4K, 30 frames, and ray tracing on Series X.
Jeez.
So I am super pumped for that.
All right, it's on Game Pass.
Why not?
Why not? Art, do you think this game will come out in 2021? Rainbow Six Quarantine.
No.
Do you think it will ever come out?
Yes.
Okay. Fair enough.
God, that's been 2 years of silence on that one too, hasn't it?
I also wouldn't be surprised if it comes out as like a $30 game.
Oh, fair enough.
Why don't you just attach it to like I don't know, Siege?
They can't make more money off that though. They already got people already paid for Siege.
What I'm saying is make it like an
you make-
expansion pass for Siege.
No,
Don't touch your Siege.
doesn't make any sense. It's completely different.
We don't know that. We haven't seen what the game is yet.
It's based off the Outbreak mini game they had 2 fucking years ago.
On Siege.
Yeah, on Siege.
No. I'm thinking of putting puzzle pieces together here.
Let's see. Hopefully this game will still come out. I have a gut feeling this game's gonna be canceled. With people leaving the studios. Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2.
Yeah,
That is in a disarray right now. I just have this terrible feeling it's gonna get canceled. I really hope not, because I really enjoyed the first one and I'm glad they're coming back to it. But I have a feeling we'll see.
All right. Thank you for not bringing up Elden Ring.
That wasn't even on the list
Good.
for 2021.
That game doesn't exist.
It's not coming out this year.
No, it's not coming out.
No, they're purposely going to wait till next year because of the whole 2 years for the exclusives. Because it's a PS5 Series X exclusive, like next gen exclusive.
I mean, I know what you're talking about. Medium's coming out in a week or something, and it's exclusive.
Oh, I know. I agree.
I don't know when they decided to share that with the world, but I remember hearing that
It
for
was
the first time. Like
recently.
I found like I heard that for the first time like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I figured it out the other day when I was flipping through Game Pass. I'm like, oh, coming soon, preload. And you can't preload in this console. I'm like, oh, sons of bitch. That's not supposed to be a thing.
No mention of Scorn, which I don't also.
I don't think that's this year either.
You know what? That may be a great game. I've listened to enough Easy Allies podcasts. I heard the goddamn ad for that about 35 million times. And I think like Xbox put out like a release, like a PR release of like, hey, here's all the games coming. And the blurb on there was the exact same text as the script of their ad on the Easy Allies podcast. I'm like, I'm done. I can't. Never. It can come out and let it get reviewed, and maybe it'll be great, and then maybe I'll look at it. But
that game's been teased for what, like 5 years now?
They showed like looks like gameplay footage. I don't know, not too long ago.
Like 3 years ago, I
no,
want to say,
maybe
right?
like more recently they showed
Well, they
something
showed that
new
one,
on
right?
the
That new
X.
one, yeah. But then 3 years ago,
yeah.
that was the original.
They had that, then they had a weirdo trailer
Yeah.
at the third party release event, whatever
Right.
it was, and then they had like a brief gameplay trailer, and it was like this game was like not great, and I don't know, like
That last time it looked better.
Well, last time I mean the cinematic trailer was like, all right, this is very alien and looks very cool, but then they showed like the gameplay. I'm like, I
thought I read something today on that they were partnering with some other group to work on the graphics and get them up to a certain standard.
Yeah, I think that's what it was.
We'll see.
But with the medium, the thing with the medium is like I really hope people don't rip on it because of the whole static camera thing. It's like I know we're like that's like we're not in that like, but it seems like people have already been like kind of ripping for it's like give it a chance. Like it's just like we don't know anything yet. The game's not out. Like give it a chance. Like this is like even if you tell me this is a next gen original Silent Hill, like. Hell, fucking yeah! Like, I mean, I'm in. Like, I'm still excited for that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
That 14 minutes. Did you watch
I
it?
did.
That was cool.
Yeah, and I mean, we're all old gamers, so I mean, we all remember like Resident Evil 1 when it first came out. Like that was how it was, and it was totally fine for the time.
Even the remaster is the same way, and it's
Yeah.
great.
I don't know. I just let's yeah, right. Let's have a game come out, and then we can talk about it.
Exactly. Let's play it.
It's a choice that was made. Play it. See if it makes sense. If you get to the end and it doesn't, then give your thoughts on
It's
it.
literally playing two games at the same time. Like, give it a break. It's trying something new. Give it a goddamn break.
I'm seriously. I'm so excited for this. Like, it seems so wild.
I don't see how you can just rip on that out of the box without seeing whether or not it works for that particular game.
Right.
When people are more than willing to sit here and play games that could have run on Super Nintendo. And sit there and say, "Oh, these are awesome.
Right,
These retro
right.
style games."
Yeah.
Okay, well maybe this is a different retro style game. Play it out. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Then if you don't like it and you have a list of criticisms, fine. Don't just sit there and be like, "Oh God, I hate the static camera. This is so 1996."
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, internet.
So that's what's coming out in 2021. Maybe.
By the way, I just recorded part of somebody's review there.
Oh, good. Put it in the back of the box. So those are the games that are hopefully coming out in 2021
that we know.
that we know of.
Maybe.
There's going to be all kinds of stuff.
Allegedly
Yeah.
coming out in 2020.
And Nintendo's
Well, I'm saying Nintendo. We know nothing.
we know very little about Nintendo. They're very good at being like, this is coming out in a month. And then you can't play it for 5 months after that, or whatever dumbass thing they're going to do for the Zelda 35th anniversary.
We're going to release this game,
I was like,
and then
guys-
we're never going to sell it physical again.
So the end of March is coming. All right.
Yeah.
We got 2 months away. What is going to happen with Nintendo in 2 months? Because this is when everything gets like shut off. Like it seems like everything stops being sold at the end of March.
It sounds to me, it sounds like that Switch HD or
Yeah.
whatever they're coming out.
The Pro or
it's,
quote unquote.
it makes so much sense for all these things just like can't get it anymore.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, it's the beginning of a fiscal year, which is also
True.
the business savvy side of
True.
releasing something. They released the original Switch in March as well,
Beginning of March. Yeah.
which was worked out great.
if they do that, my kid's Switch is magically going to break. And I'm like, claim a warranty at Best Buy for a replacement.
Whoops.
I don't know. The kid's 6 years old. He dropped it.
Yeah.
Cough up the replacement.
I got my
a new one.
I got my Switch from Toys R Us. Anything to do with that? Or
Even
no, probably not.
No.
go trade in at Funkoland.
I do have that time machine.
On the birthday, at least I have the Animal Crossing one, which I'm sure will still resell for quite a bit. So,
My kid's is the Animal Crossing one.
yeah.
So yeah,
Or I just use that extra warranty I paid for through Best Buy and say something's wrong with it.
There you go.
whatever. All right, I think that's all we got for today, guys. Right? That's it.
That's it.
All right. Then we will see you again in. Oh, I gotta plug my review.
Yes.
'Cause I actually
Oh, it's so good. It's excellent.
this is my first time ever editing a video, and surprise. You probably go see it. It's a review for Call of the Sea. It's on Xbox and PC. It's on Game Pass right now. It was completely done on my phone, which I didn't know I could do. It did. I mean, it would have been probably 10 times easier on a computer if I had all the software and everything for it. But like, I don't think you would have known if I didn't tell you. I did it all on my phone, and I think it came out very well. I was very, very pleased with it.
Absolutely.
So it's on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/sticksgamingvids. Review for Call of the Sea. So please check it out.
Please be excited.
Please be excited. And we will see you next time, Stickheads.